Happy Sunday, y'all. It is Sunday and we're in March. It's very hard for me to decide actually what my favorite month is, but I would say that March is definitely one of my favorite months. I love March because it's that in between period where you see that the weather is getting nicer, winter is saying bye-bye. And we're transitioning to spring, and then there's summer, so all great things. So I really, really like March, one of my favorite months. But I digress. Focusing on today's topic, and as you know, we've been doing the series on I Am That I Am, and tracing that back to Jesus's I Am statements. So right now we are at I Am the Good Shepherd. And honestly, that's one of my favorite ones. I've always identified with that, not only in terms of who Jesus is, but also in our relationship with God, in our relationship with Jesus. Because I remember when I was going through the season of trying to figure out how to hear God's voice, this is one of the verses that helped me with that. Obviously, the journey never ends because we're always evolving, learning, and growing in the way we are sensitive to His leading and His voice. But I remember the verse, and it was saying that my sheep know my voice, and a stranger's voice they would not follow, but they'll follow His voice. I remember always meditating on that, to hear His voice, to know what He's saying, to know where He's leading me. So I really, really, really identify with I am the Good Shepherd. And when you read the context and when Jesus says He's the Good Shepherd, first, He could have just said, I am the shepherd, because I don't think He qualified all the other statements, but I could be wrong. The last one we did was, I am the door, I'm the light, I'm the bread of life. But He said, I am the Good Shepherd. So shepherd on its own, when I think about it, is already identified as something good, I believe. Shepherd that keeps his sheep, a shepherd that makes sure that none of his sheep is lost. But then He qualifies it. He says, I am the Good Shepherd. So it's not just any regular shepherd. He's even better than the best shepherd. You know what I mean? When we go back to the Bible, there are many, many shepherds. You think about David being a shepherd as well before he was even anointed to be king. And the skill set, the courage that he was able to acquire to be able to even say boldly that he can defeat Goliath. He learned being a shepherd, taking care of his sheep. He says when the lion and the bear came for the sheep, he will run after them. That's how much he loved his sheep. But then Jesus qualifies Himself even better. He's like, I am the Good Shepherd. He's like the best of the best. You get what I mean? So even when He says, I am the Good Shepherd, the next thing He said is that He lays His life for His sheep. Like, what manner of love is that? That He cares so much for His sheep that He's willing to die for His sheep. Just like that whole David analogy. Nobody runs after a lion, runs after a bear, but He does that because He cares so much for His sheep. And I try to meditate on God's love. Sometimes it's hard for me to wrap around such unconditional love, because how many of us would die for anyone? Let's be real, let's be honest. But He loves us that much. He cares for us that much. He cares about every single thing about us. Sometimes you think, oh, maybe God cares about my career. He cares about my house. He cares about lofty things, but He cares about the very little things too. And I'm sure He cares about what I eat. Like if I'm hungry, He cares. He cares about all those things. He's that intentional about us. He is the best shepherd. He's the good shepherd. So I love that. I love that representation of who Jesus is to us. And something I also focus on when you think about the Good Shepherd, He says, my sheep know my voice. So there's a relationship here, right? So He's the Good Shepherd and we are the sheep. And quite frankly, when you think about it, I don't know how many people would like to be called a sheep. From the place I'm from, if someone calls you a sheep, they literally think you're an idiot, you mumu. You're dumb dumb. Like, that's what it means to be a sheep. I don't think we think sheeps are very intelligent. So when you're a sheep, there's a level of humility, there's a level of dumbness, for lack of better words, that we have to act like to be led by the good shepherd. And sometimes it's also laying down our earthly wisdom, our earthly understanding of what we think we ought to be doing, and being like, this is what God wants me to do. In my mind, in my sense, in whatever rationale I'm thinking, this makes sense. However, this is what God wants me to be doing. I have to be shippily to be led by the good shepherd, And it's amazing. And knowing that the path that the good shepherd leads us is always a path of righteousness, of good things, of green pastures, right? Of fruitfulness. And then I think about the Bible verses, Proverbs 3:5. It says, do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So like, when we start to think in our own wisdom, oh, we're so smart, we know it all, like this is what we ought to do, oftentimes it's not even the right thing to do. So, which is why he says, do not lean on your own understanding, because it might not make sense to your own mind. It wouldn't. But the good shepherd who sees beyond today, who sees tomorrow, who's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, knows where you're going, knows the path of life, and wants to lead you there. So are we so surrendered like sheep, almost without sense, to just sheepishly follow him wherever path he leads us? And when I think back to the Bible verses, I always meditate on this. Teach your children the way of the Lord. They'll never depart from it. I remember when I was young, what we learned, verses that we memorized, was Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I'm going to try to remember it now. I don't know if I remember all of it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me to green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul, leads me down the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for he is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. He prepares a table before me in front of my enemies. He anoints my head with oil, right? My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. David was so familiar with that word shepherd, because he was a shepherd. And we think about the Lord being our shepherd. Again, we get to that understanding that he will never leave us or forsake us. No matter what we're going through, he's beside us, gently guiding us, his rod, his staff, protecting us, guiding us, correcting us, steering us to the right path. He leads us to green pastures. He wants us to have a good life. I don't think Christianity is about struggle. Yes, there's suffering, but he wants you to have a good life. He says, I'm here to give you life and give you life abundantly. He leaves you beside still waters, calm water, nourishment. He anoints your head with oil. Overflow, your cup is overflowing. Prepares a table for you to eat and replenish, And besides that, when you know the Lord as your shepherd, that presence to have him beside you, no matter what you're going through, you want that presence more than anything else. Which is why David ends that. He's like, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord. He wants to forever be in the presence of the Lord all the days of his life. That's what it means to be acquainted with a good shepherd. And sometimes when I'm afraid, sometimes I'm scared, I remember that the Lord is my shepherd. He's my good shepherd. He knows my heart, not from a place of, he condones behavior that's not good. No, He knows my fears. He knows the things that I excel in. He knows the things I struggle with. He knows how to reach me. He knows how to talk to me. He knows how to guide me. He knows how to quiet my anxieties. He is my shepherd. He knows me. And as a sheep, we also know him. We have that relationship with him. My prayer today is that we will allow ourselves to be sheep, to be guided by the very good shepherd. Bye for now.